right, are we ready? You're ready? How does the light look?
Are you sure? This light's not pointing at me. How come he gets to have the pretty face today, and I'm over here suffering with half-ass lighting?
Your nose shines bright enough.
Is this blue? Is this blue?
The reflection.
Oh, the reflection. I see.
Is it okay for him? Okay. All right, let's go.
I'll see about that. I'll see the playback.
What is this?
I'll tell you if it's for real, if it's good.
3, 4.
Huh? 4. Episode 4.
All right, let's get started. All right. Let's get started. You ready? Okay. All right, Brent. Welcome to episode 4. My lucky number 4.
Oh, really?
A lot of people don't know this. I won't get into the details of why, but
You're gonna leave everybody in suspense as to why you're lucky number 4.
Lou Gehrig used to wear number 4.
Okay, right.
I thought when I was a kid that I was gonna have 4 wives. Luckily, I had lived with 2. My goal.
You meant all together.
I don't know.
When are you gonna change religion? What's it called?
No. Catholic Christian religion.
So, but wait, at a young age, you decided I'm gonna have one wife, divorce. After I get it.
Yeah, I always figured, and my mom would tell me, pinche mendigo, cabrón, mujerío, you name it.
I now I understand. In a little kid's brain, that makes sense. 4 figure wives. All right.
Nobody in my family's ever been divorced. If anyone's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it 3 times
So I can have 4 wives.
Yeah, I can have 4 wives. So lucky number 4.
Right on.
But speaking of, let's go over the 4 topics that we're gonna cover today. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about the real estate market crash that's happening right now in March of 2023. I don't know if it's a crash, but you know what is crashing? Our banking system. So I know that you
part of it.
Yeah, I know that you've been reading a lot about the SB Bank. We'll cover a little bit about that. Mortgage rates, I definitely want to cover
For sure.
And last but not least, guess what tickets I just bought literally on the walk here.
Phantom of the Opera.
Not opera, bro. I'm going to give you a quick rap lyrics. Let's see if you could get it. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. Drake. I just got me tickets in August for his show in Los Angeles. And what I really want to cover, not so much the tickets, but I want to cover if you think it's a good idea, because I bought my tickets for my son. Maybe his girlfriend. Maybe I'm going to go. Maybe my wife should go. I don't know. But is it a good idea to send my 20-year-old to downtown LA to go see Drake? And you know what happens at concerts, so we'll kind of cover
For sure.
Okay. All right. So let's get into it. I'm very excited to kind of cover the market crash. So a lot of reports. I'm going to read you a report that I got from Redfin. Redfin is obviously a big broker.
Aside from being a big broker, though, honestly, they gather data like nobody.
And that's what like they collect a lot of data from people that sign onto their sites. They have great economists. That being said, do you know the amount of people? Not the amount of people. Sorry. Do you know the amount of sellers in February that actually gave a concession, credits, closing costs, as far as the data that they collected from their transactions? Do you know the number? Percentage?
That number has to be climbing. I don't know what it is.
All right. Take a guess. Take a wild guess.
30%.
30% was last year, my friend. We are in a new market. So if you are a buyer, you want to hear this. 53% of 53%. So 50% of all houses that closed in the month of February gave some kind of credit, closing cost credit. Maybe they bought the rate down for the buyer. I mean, that's a good thing
Fantastic for buyers. Yeah,
for sure. For a lender.
We love that because it forever makes a difference to the buyer's about payment.
And here's another interesting fact that I think it was good piece of information. Now, this is going back to January. We don't have the February numbers, but the percentage of homes sold above the list price. Again, this is for you sellers. Do you know the percentage of homes that actually sold above the listed price?
I would imagine that number is falling.
It's falling significantly, but what was the percentage? It's still not up, but I mean, there's still a number.
30%. I'm gonna say 30%.
It close. You must have read the report.
No, I did not.
26% of home sellers in the month of January sold above the list price. So 1 to 4.
What is that compared to last year?
I knew you were asking because you're the analytical. That's down significantly. So year over year, going back a year, last January 2022, that went down, that 26%, by 31%. So we're talking about a significant
That's
change.
pretty big. Those were the days where you saw like, I'm having an open house, and then you would see a realtor post a picture of a line of people waiting for the open house just to start. Those days are pretty much gone.
By the way, that was those days where every real estate agent, you woke up, if you had a listing, you got paid.
Oh, for sure.
If you had a real estate listing, you didn't have to put a sign up. As long as you could put an MLS, shit, if you just put your sign up, you were going to sell that property.
Right.
Now, today, we got to do a lot of work.
We got to call people back now.
It's called follow-up. Yeah. The money is in the follow-up. But let's kind of talk a little bit. So that's some of the data. Do you think the market's crashing? I know we talk about this every other episode.
No, I do not think the market's crashing. I think the market's super tight because even now, there are fewer properties on the market than what is considered healthy. Even I don't even know if people consider that number anymore. But normally what's considered healthy, I believe, is like 3 months of inventory, 4 months of inventory or whatever. Yep. And we're way, way below. I don't know the exact number, but I know we're way below that.
Well, I'll share this. I think what drives traffic, what moves, and I think we know the truth. I believe what really moves the market, what really moves the marketplace, in my opinion, is affordable payments. Would you agree?
You saw rates, and then you saw big driver.
No, I agree for sure. So let's talk about mortgage rates. A week and a half ago, I remember reading somewhere or reading online, that day, rates got as high as like 7.2, the average 30-day rate.
For a quick minute, they did actually. They did go.
Okay, it's just long, but they were definitely over 7%.
They did. That was the second time, I think, in 2 months. I don't want to say December, January, whatever time frame. There was a blip above 7% as well.
So there's good news. There's good news. I started, is the market crashing? It doesn't look like it's crashing. It's a great time for buyers, but the rates have dropped from that 7.2 a couple weeks ago. Where are we now, and why are rates dropping?
Okay, so let's answer the why question first. The why question is essentially, rates were already dropping a little bit. There was the beginning of a trend prior to this whole SB Bank mess.
The rates have dropped more than 0.5% maybe in the last 2 weeks.
That's an accurate statement, yes, sir.
But the inflation is up.
Inflation is down. Inflation is still 3 times higher than the Fed wants it to be.
Correct.
But it's increasing at a slower pace. So that pace of increase is dropping.
I meant the job market, the job numbers. Those numbers are higher than expected.
They were higher than expected. Match inflationary.
Yeah, which usually affects the pricing and the rates, right? So
correct.
Like all the data that I've been accustomed to understanding and comprehending where rates are going, the 10-year. It's all backwards. I'm like, it's a little lost right now.
For sure. So, and I would imagine a lot of people who follow this stuff are kind of lost about it, except for you have to see it as the Fed has to weigh these happenings against these happenings. What the Fed is trying to do is they're both trying to keep people as employed as possible, and they're trying to keep prices under control. They want price stability, right? So the average things that we buy, they don't want those things to be as expensive as they are right now relative to what we make. Those are their priorities. And while they have those two things as a priority, everything that gets fed into the Fed's knowledge bank is going to go into deciding how they move, right? So right now, unfortunately for them, they may have to taper off on their increase. What they wanted to do was continue to increase the Fed funds rate, rates in general as a result, and they're not likely to be able to. People are betting at least that they're not likely to be able to continue that because there's some fear out there that was caused by this whole SB Bank mess.
If your daughter was buying you have a 20-year-old kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if she was buying a house.
I have an 18-year-old kid.
18-year-old kid. Let's say she was buying a house. She's a legal age. She can buy a property if she qualified.
Yes.
Would you tell her right now is a good time to buy, lock her rate, or hold off 3 months from now? 6 months from now?
Oh, wow. No. So 3 months from now is too long of a crystal ball. I would tell her what I would tell anybody if she's serious about buying a house right now. She sees the payments that she wants. She sees the house that she wants. Go ahead and lock it in. That's my advice always, because every individual situation is different. And if you're in the market right now and you're thinking maybe 3 months from now maybe better, not a good play. Not a good play at all, right? Then SB Bank tanks. If you don't know what's happening with SB Bank, maybe you're living in a cave somewhere.
Okay, let me stop you there. Had you heard of them? Because I had no idea about.
Come on, no.
Silicon Valley Bank.
It's a relatively small bank in terms of the number of people who have deposits there. Now, but those people happen to be very wealthy people, and
Silicon Valley.
It's called Silicon Valley Bank for a reason. And the deposits that they have per person are much higher than your average bank. Part of the reason they're in trouble, actually, they were in trouble because now they're dead. They had gotten all of these depositors that are in the tech industry. Those depositors used SB Bank, a lot of them almost exclusively, because SB Bank catered to that industry, Then SB Bank became over leveraged both with the type of clientele that they had and with the type of assets that they had purchased to make money.
Right.
I don't know if everybody out there knows this, but when you deposit your money into a bank, the reason that the bank is able to make money is not because they hit you for a fee every month, although that's whatever. The reason they were able to make money on that money is because they take it and they invest it. So they were invested heavily in mortgage bonds and treasuries. So just bonds of two different types, right?
But what happens? What happens when mortgage bonds and mortgage rates, Fed rates go up, go down?
As the Fed is pushing their rates up, it's making their bonds less and less attractive, the bonds that they hold. Now, what starts to trigger their downfall is the tech industry itself starts to suffer. A lot of their depositors come after their money. They decide to sell some of these bonds that they're holding, and those bonds are now worth a lot less than the bonds that are being sold today. So they're taking a massive billions of dollars. I think it was a couple billions of dollars in losses. Now their depositors catch wind of that news, and the depositors come running after their money.
For the record, had I heard, hey, we have negative assets, not assets, but negative bonds, this is going to, make our top line revenue probably go lower a little bit, I, for the record, would have pulled my money out.
I think maybe that had something to do with the beginning. I don't know. But I do know that what I've seen so far is the tech sector was already hurting. They needed cash. They came after their cash. SB Bank wanted to continue to deliver on that cash. They made the catastrophic decision of selling the bonds they had on the books at a big loss. That loss, the depositors caught wind of it and said, my money's not going to be there. Boom. They came and they made a run on the bank.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was in Napa when the news came out, the first day.
Oh, it must be nice.
It was a business trip, so it was nice. It was rainy. It was miserable out there, but I remember being in the hotel reading about this or watching the news about, SB Bank, they're going out of business, they're going to get, not foreclosed on, but, they're going to close the doors. The Fed took it over. For about 2 minutes, I honestly thought, should I pull my money out of my Citizens Business Bank down the street, literally right down the street here, and Wells Fargo? I actually thought about it. Can we trust? Let me ask you, can the consumers, can us, normal Joe and Mary, can they trust the banking system and continue to invest and save?
Can they trust the banking system? No. But is your money likely safe? It's likely safe. Why? Because this, again, is a niche bank serving a niche clientele. One of the reasons that they got rescued, at least one of the
bailed out. Let's use the right word.
Okay, bailed out. One of the reasons they got bailed out, not with your money, by the way. All banks who have a certain level of deposits put up money into this fund, and it's there specifically for this kind of thing. SB Bank, there's a lot of politics that goes behind it. It goes all the way back to 2010 and 2018, etc. But what happens is SB Bank was rescued through those deposits that other banks made into this fund, not with tax dollars, in case you're hearing that out there. Is the money safe? Your money's safe. It is likely. Why? Because that bank is a niche bank. It serves a certain a particular clientele. That clientele is currently hurting, and that all triggered what happened with the bank itself. Your bank or your money is likely in a larger bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, and even local banks are still going to be fine because they have probably more diversified portfolios. Sure. Probably they're not going to make and don't need to be or don't see themselves in a position to have to sell assets that are maturing later. Like if SB Bank had time to let those assets mature, they would have got paid out. They would have made money anyway. Yep. They didn't, so they took a loss. That's what happened with that. But ultimately, your money's safe.
I think the right word is it's a niche bank.
It is a niche bank
for the tech sector out there, and I agree. Now, yesterday, I read this report where Bank of America over the last 72 hours. Do you know how much money they've taken in deposits from clients, from customers into Bank of America? Just the last.
I would imagine it's a lot of money.
It's $15 billion.
Billion.
That's a big number.
That's unfortunately that also means that a lot of small regional banks are losing clientele to these larger banks, right?
I mean, it goes back to the local community business bank that I have down the street. I thought about it. How do I know they're not invested in these terrible mortgage bonds? I'm not aware.
Let's be clear again. Those mortgage bonds are not terrible. They're one of the safest asset classes out there.
Long term.
It's just that if you have to sell them at the wrong time,
right,
you might take losses.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I did. I have an account. It's a savings account there. I was over the FDIC limit, insurable limit.
Must be nice.
Well, I've been saving. I wear $25 branded logo shirt.
Nice.
Okay. It's not Gucci. It's not Nike. Regular sport tech shirt.
I'm happy about your savings. Continue, please.
So I broke that account into $250. I withdrew some money and I put it into another bank.
That's not unintelligent because there is that limit. There's a $250 limit. In case you don't know, if you have $250,000 in any bank that's FDIC insured, you go over that limit. Those dollars that are over that limit are no longer sure.
By the way, those that are listening, that's actually a tax savings account. So I use that to pay taxes.
I see. Well, one more note before we move on from that. A lot of the money that was in SB Bank was FDIC insured, but it's a small amount. A larger percentage because of the type of deposits, the type of depositors that were clients of this bank. These people had way more than $250,000 per account.
Millions and millions.
Well, $500 million in the case of Roku, I believe, right? And all of that will be made whole. All of it will be.
They got bailed out. They got lucky. They found a buyer. I don't know how they did it, but obviously there's some value still within that company. I believe that the assets that they can sell off.
Sure, yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about something that I'm not too certain. First of all, have you been to a hip hop or rap concert anytime recently or in your lifetime?
Of course.
When was the last time? You don't. I'm sorry. You don't come off as somebody that listens to hip hop or rap. So
I listen to hip hop. I listen to rap.
What was the last concert that?
Oh wow, you're not. Now we're gonna date Ernesto.
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli is not hip hop or rap.
You're right. Sorry.
They're not even real. I don't know what they fall into. It's been a long time. I remember the last concert that I went to was a Bad Boy concert. It was a bunch of Bad Boy stars. They all showed up.
Puffy.
In there was Puffy, Busta Rhymes. I think Usher showed up that day.
Nice.
There was a singer, rapper named Foxy Brown. I'm sure nobody's
who knows what.
He's one of my favorites back in the day. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, so you have. So you know hip hop. Okay, so I want to say 20.
I grew up on hip hop. When you were still listening to Depeche Mode, I was already
LL Cool J. Got you. I'm trying to date you. You can't tell. No, so the last concert that I went to, me and Vanessa went here at the Anaheim Ducks at the pond. It's in Anaheim. Jay-Z concert. It was Jay-Z, the 444 tour, right? So, I had tickets up near Jesus Christ section. Great location. The problem and my question here to the tickets that I bought for Drake, here's the question. When I was there at that Jay-Z concert, everybody, I think all maybe 15, 20,000 fans in attendance that night had to be puffing the Magic Dragon. I mean, there was weed smoke everywhere. I had weed smoke in areas that I wasn't too sure should be smelling like weed, right, when I got home. So what I'm trying to tell you is Drake is coming into LA. I just bought 2 tickets to surprise my kid. I don't think my kid follows this podcast now yet. But he's an artist. He's a signed artist with, I think it's Universal or Columbia. I don't know, one of these record companies. I'm not too sure. But I don't think he's ever been to a big concert like this.
Wow.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I know he hasn't been to a big concert. And Drake is probably top 3 singers, rappers. I don't know what category he is, but he's top, right? Do you think it's a good idea to send my 20-year-old son, maybe with his girlfriend, to this concert?
I think it's too late.
Meaning?
Whatever he's going to be exposed to at that concert, he's 20. He's a 20-year-old kid. Because it's not, it's an open seat. So the concert itself is not going to be anything you have to worry about. I don't think so. Yes, there will be that.
Yeah.
And yes, there will be different types of people. Some of them might not be dressed like you and I would dress for maybe work.
How would you dress to a Drake concert? Baggy pants?
Yeah, probably. No, I would not wear baggy pants. Wow.
Do you own a pair of baggy pants?
I do not any longer own any pairs of baggy pants. No.
I don't think I do either. Okay, so you're saying I shouldn't have no issue gifting art.
I'm saying whatever issues you already have will not be changed by him going
by one concert.
to the concert.
Okay,
yeah, that's what I'm
I'm going to be very honest. I'm thinking about taking Vanessa, my wife, to the Drake concert. It's like on the 3rd row, really good seats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What day is this?
it's in early August, middle August sometime, right?
Okay, so this will air this will be put out on
way
YouTube
before.
way before. So your kid's gonna be devastated way before the concert. I think that's strategically good planning on your part. He can get over it, but
He could buy his own tickets.
yeah.
But you know what? You're right. I don't know if I want to support or contribute if there's already gonna, like you said, he's probably already experienced this. But you're right. I didn't think about that. I think
He's 2 years old. What are you gonna shelter him from at this point? Does he drive?
Yeah.
It's over.
All right. Let's wrap it up with something that I brought up earlier. You said it must be nice. The Napa trip. Have you been to Napa?
No, I have not been to Napa.
You have it. Okay. So we were up there last Thursday through Sunday. Took one of our top producers. We had a challenge here at the office, and it was a 78-day Napa challenge. And he used our apartments, our services, our ancillary services, and he was clear-cut #1 winner. So we treated him and his fiance and another couple from the office joined us up there. So it was pretty cool hanging out. 6 of us. But let me tell you, I've been to Napa maybe 4 or 5 times. So this is probably, fifth time that I've gone. And this is the first time it rained. And it rained cats and dogs on the way there, the first night there. The second day, it was kind of clear. Then it rained in the evening. I want to say this. For a married man, pushing mid-40s, rain in a romantic setting with a lot of wine is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Thank you very much for saying.
So I'm saying all that to say what?
I think I know what you're saying, but you go ahead and finish up.
No, I'm saying all that to say that, Ernesto,
Yes, sir.
I highly encourage you to take out your beautiful wife of 25 years, that's 20 years,
Yeah.
to Napa Valley and go enjoy some of the California's finest grapes.
And the romance.
Hopefully it rains. Hopefully it rains.
I would love for it to rain.
And
Based on the evidence sitting in front of me right now, I hope it rains.
what I'm trying to say is it was good. Like, these guys were, it was a younger couples that we were hanging out with. 30s. These motherfuckers want to stay out and party and drink all night. Me and Vanessa, we started yawning on purpose
Right.
at 8:30. Strategy, bro.
Strategy.
8:30. That stretch. The stretch yawn. We're gonna call it a night. We're balls.
Let me ask you something. Can I ask you something about people who, because I've been to wine country around SoCal, right? There's a couple of areas in SoCal you can go consider wine country.
Yeah.
I've never been to Napa. When you go to Napa, do you have a lot of people that are kind of wine tasters, or do you have a bunch of elitist drunks?
That's a great question.
Are they walking around in their airs, walking around with what I would call their airs, but are they all just loaded up as they're walking around, or are they really just tasters?
Here's an interesting part about it. I believe the bartenders at all the wineries there are trained to cut you off if you're being a slob, stuttering, not stuttering, what's that shit called?
Stuttering, like what you are doing.
Yeah, a little bit. Drunk.
Okay.
They cut you off because you don't see that too much, right? I mean, the wineries usually close between 5 and 6 p.m. So they end, all right, they end early.
Kind of crazy.
No, but I mean, think about it. They open at 9 a.m. and they're closed by 5. So 9 to 5 work hours, right? But I think they're trained to cut you off. And I mean, the pours, I think they do a very good job. So I don't see a lot of cops up in Napa country. You don't see sheriffs or cops. So everybody there is driving a little bit, probably tipsy, and you get away with it. But that's a beautiful part about it.
Okay.
Where you're going from one estate to the next estate. There's a few spots for lunch. So, if you're smart, you strategize your trip properly. You stop by about 1 o'clock for a nice, good, hearty meal, and then wrap up your...
that allows you it's easy to go home.
Yeah, until 5 o'clock. And then you go back to downtown or wherever you're staying in the hotel and visit. Beautiful restaurants, great quality food. So I'm an advocate for it. So that's it. I kind of want to wrap up with that subtle reminder that I
take my wife for the romance to Napa.
Absolutely.
And my suggestion to you is go ahead and let your kid go to Drake because he's not going to see anything he hasn't seen before. Trust me on that.
He might dump his girlfriend if he goes to a Drake concert.
Yes, this is what I meant by the folks that would be dressed a certain way.
Yeah.
He might be his eye might be wandering quite a bit.
By the way, I like his girlfriend. I don't even know her name. She's over at my house all the time. I don't know her name. Vanessa knows it, and I hear it all the time. I don't know. Like if you offered me $1,000 right now for
You're
like,
gonna cut this out. Like, yeah, okay, you too devastating. You get twice. You guys, I bought Drake tickets, by the way. You're not going, so he's got to get over that. And your girlfriend, what's her name? She's not going either.
he's so nice. She's such a sweetheart. But you know, I don't know. It is what it is. Okay. Oh, I love it. All right, so let's wrap up the guys. I enjoyed recording episode 4, lucky 4.
Yeah, lucky number 4.
4 wives.
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig. Yeah, you learned that today.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, that's it, guys. Stay tuned. If you're watching this, should I give my Drake tickets to my son? Let's make a poll. I don't think I should. I'm actually right now, I'm like 60-40 that I'm going to Drake concert. I don't know. Something could change. But if not, maybe
Oldest son, if you're listening, 60-40, he can be convinced. And make him memorize your girlfriend's name. What the hell is that?
I think it's no.
Stop.
I think it's Amari. Amari or Amari. All right. Hey, moving on. That's it. All right, guys. Thank you guys. Tune in, comment. I hope you enjoyed the episode. More importantly, subscribe and share it if you found this information useful to you.